So wait, did you have that Samantha told Emily, who told Allison, who told Megan, who told Carol, who told Karen, who told Jason that Dave was doing drag? Hi, ugly. It's me, Bussy, and welcome back to Hot or Rat. And today we'll be reviewing RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars Season 7, All Winners, Episode 6. Our queens were challenged to parody Y2K girl groups in a drag-tastic tribute to TRL, the now ancient, fossilized dinosaur show that once reigned on MTV. Back in my day, MTV played music. And the runway category was Night of 1000 Dolly Partons. Plus, we'll also be covering the Tove name pronunciation controversy. And I can't wait to break it all down with you, but first I want to show you something. My skin. I've been proudly showing off my skin now for over 6 months, thanks to today's video sponsor, Curology, and the power of their customized 3-step process. In the morning and night, I use Curology's pH Balance Cleanser and Moisturizer. And at night, I apply my custom Curology formula made just for me by a Curology skincare provider, leaving my skin with a beautiful, smooth finish. That's right, Curology is not just a product, it's a person. A licensed dermatology provider has been powering my Curology journey since day one. I know their name and qualifications and can even see a photo of their face inside the Curology account portal. And when I started my custom treatment plan, they messaged me with tons of helpful information on the active ingredients inside my custom formula, and they even gave me recommendations on how to lock in moisture during the application process of my new routine, because at the time, I had been suffering from dryness. And best of all, I can revisit my provider's detailed message history about my custom treatment plan at any time, and reach out with additional comments, questions, or concerns, all within the Curology account portal. Having a licensed skincare expert at my fingertips has revolutionized the way I approach my skincare routine, and I can't wait for Curology to revolutionize yours. You can join by clicking the link in the description of my video. He'll take a quick quiz to assess your skincare needs and send in 3 selfies. Then a provider will take a look at your submissions and create a custom formula just for you. So what are you waiting for? Connect with a licensed Curology dermatology provider in your state today by clicking the link in the description of my video. And get 1 month of Curology for free. Just pay $5 shipping and handling. Thanks Curology for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's start with some controversy, shall we? The judging panel today was joined by Swedish pop star Tove, as RuPaul pronounced her name not once, but twice, which kind of shattered my entire reality because I, a peasant, had just been saying Tove the entire time I listened to her music. And I was even more gagged to see Eve tweet this out saying, "That's how you pronounce Tove?" And then to see Tove quote tweet Eve and say, "This is not news." But I knew something was up, so I decided to do a little bit of an investigation. Pulled up some old interviews, and it seems she says her name both ways, kind of depending on how she is framing her name.
There was a lynx, you know, the Nordic wildcat animal that was named Tove. Then, you know, my mom just started calling me Tovlo instead. But now actually, my friends have stopped calling me Tovlo and just call me Tove because they feel like, you know, they're speaking about the artist now.
So it seems she was mostly having a bit of fun with the fandom and RuPaul pronouncing her name that way, but both pronunciations are acceptable. Case closed. Now let's totally break down these girl groups. First up, we've got M.S.T.R, comprised of Shea, Monet, Trinity, and Raja singing the epic breakup song Titanic. Monet opened up the entire challenge in saying, "I hate you baby boy, you're tearing up my heart. Too busy, T9 text. Destiny fell apart." T9 text, by the way, that's like when you had to text using the number keypad 1 through 9 and type out using the letters that were on the numbers. If you know, you know. And Destiny fell apart, referencing Destiny's Child falling apart. Whew. Like Kathy Lee dumped Regis, love went down the drain. You are the weakest link, reality TV show, dust it off, try again. Wow, wow, wow. Monet nailed these lyrics. She literally encapsulated the entire Y2K era in her set of lyrics in a girl group performance and delivered some solid choreo. I think she deserved a little more respect on this check tonight because this performance was hot. But over on the runway, she maybe should have dusted this one off and tried again. This one's not my favorite. It's giving Metamorphosis the design challenge a little bit. And let me just say, if I didn't know that this was supposed to be a Dolly Parton illusion, I think I would like it a little more than I do. Because as a quilted jacket dress in multicolors, it's pretty. And the biggest sin, I think, of a challenge where you are supposed to be giving Dolly Parton illusion is to drag down Dolly. Dolly's outfit that is similar to this is literally covered in rhinestones. She is doing drag. And Monet said, you know what? We don't need the rhinestones. We're just gonna give multicolored quilted fabric. Dolly outdragged Monet here, so this looks gonna be a rat. And next up, if you're caught on the Titanic with her, well, you're in luck because silicone floats, baby. It's Trinity the Tuck. She sang, "Frosted tips, you know I had 'em. Yeah, Justin, you had me gagging. I went crazy, was obsessed, then fell in love and couldn't have 'em." And for what it's worth, I think her lyrics were decent. She was sort of telling the story, I guess, of a crazed fan living through this era, obsessed with Justin Timberlake, but could never have him. I got it. I got what she was throwing down, and I did appreciate it. I do think she was slightly outshined by several other girls tonight, but this was solid. I do also want to point out, it seemed like she was again struggling to lip sync her own lyrics, like she did in week 1. If only she had been a little more in sync. Still gonna give this performance a soft hot. But over on the runway, oh my god, why are you gagging so? She brings it to you every ball. Trinity. This Dolly illusion is immaculate. This is the type of Dolly illusion that beats Dolly and Dolly Parton lookalike contest. Fun fact, Dolly actually tells a story, which now kind of thinking about Dolly could be a big joke, but she tells a story about how she was beat by a drag queen in a Dolly Parton lookalike contest.
Once I dressed as a Dolly, over-exaggerated Dolly, and there's a gay bar down on Santa Monica close to my house, and they have a Dolly Parton lookalike contest. When they walked across the stage, if they applauded, you won the contest by the amount of applause. So all these beautiful guys were walking across these dollies, and here I come walking across the stage, and I got the least applause of anybody.
And maybe Trinity was that queen that beat Dolly in that contest all those years ago. You may never know. Trinity, I'm begging you, please, 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 don't take my man because this look is hot. Just kidding, I don't have a man. No man to take. Ow, ow. It's the cough medicine. I'm sorry. Next up, look at the CDs that she scratched today. It's Shea Coulee. Firstly, I have to call out her choreo and her ability to command a team in that type of performance. She did it well in week 1, and she took charge here again, it seems, in this challenge as well. She's very good at what she does in this realm. Her lyrics went, "Hell nah, boy, you best stop trippin'. What's wrong, boo? Your CD skipping?" That lyric, smart. Too smart, even. Better not play me like a clown, or like Titanic, it's going down. Just got hit up by your friend, cause oops, I did it again. And overall, I think she did a phenomenal job in this challenge, but I think she front-loaded her verse really powerfully with some smart lyrics, and then kind of ended in such a way that didn't rhyme or flow as well as the beginning, which made her oops, I did it again lyric feel a little too much like a mistake. But still a very hot performance. I'm literally splitting hairs here. This challenge was so good, y'all. And over on the runway, let's start with the positives. I love the jacket with the fringe, and I think the gold applique on those chaps and the gold spurs that are attached to the boots, very creative and fun. However, there's something about doing an illusion I think that requires the hair to be perfect first and foremost. And this hair is far from perfect. It is, dare I say, really dry. To quote Laganja, kind of like your. And the way it's laying on her head, I'm getting George Washington, not Dolly Parton. I was also a little confused by the plate illusion. The skin tone is very off from her own. I'm thinking maybe she borrowed this from somebody else since she isn't typically a plate wearing type of drag queen. This look overall, I'm going to give a rat. There's 2 things that you have to have right with a Dolly illusion. Hair and bazungas. Bazunga bazangas. Next up, Roger. And firstly, shout out to one of the most fabulous randomized sim outfits I have ever seen. I loved her workroom look today. And if you'll remember, she won an extra legendary legend star last week, which she was tasked with giving away this week. And she opted to give that star to Miss Yvie Oddly, making it her first star of the competition. Anyways, Raj's point of view here was all about that LA party girl socialite, the Paris Hilton, the Kim Kardashian. And her lyrics showed that. Atlantic deep, my loots I keep. Seek my bling bling, bye bye ring. So she is firstly referencing the song title Titanic, and then throwing in a little bling ring reference, which was this group of teenagers literally stealing clothes and jewelry and such from Paris Hilton's mansion when she wasn't home, clubbing in our Juicy Coup. Juicy Couture, referencing how popular Juicy was in that era. Call me Angel, Lucy Liu. Hi-ya. Charlie's Angels is also like one of my favorite movies. These lyrics, girl, they stole my heart. But her missteps here, I think she was giving the Paris Hilton kind of, I don't really do this or that lazy socialite vibes, which I don't think fully translated on stage. I just kind of read that she didn't really rehearse the dance moves. So that is the reason that she did not get 5 full hot flames from me, but a stellar performance nonetheless. That's hot. And over on the runway, talent talented, brilliant, amazing, show-stopping, Dolly Parton. Raja gave us, I think, a top-tier Dolly illusion here. She did Dolly hair, but even bigger and draggier, and she gave us a caricature of her mannerisms, and the makeup illusion was done really well. My only critique is I was kind of wondering if she borrowed this dress because it fell a little bit short, I think, of where it maybe should have landed. That is such a small critique for such an amazing homage to Dolly Parton. This look was hot. And next up, we've got the other girls, great name, performing Together Forever. And you'll notice each of their characters was a really good on-the-nose parody of who these Y2K pop girlies were supposed to be. Let's start with the Vib, who opened their group's number. She yelled, "I've got an English guy to love me. He's got a and he drinks tea. Bangers and mash, we're meant to be. I love it when he sweeps my chimney." Her verse was so very and perfectly obnoxiously British. I loved what she did. It was so dumb and perfect. It rhymed. She did such a good job. Her whole verse and performance kind of reminded me of that TikTok meme where they put like the crazy teeth and then they do the terrible British accent.
Can someone please tell me what these are? They are everywhere in the UK.
Well, at least I'm not getting slaughtered while I'm doing mathematics.
It's very offensive, I think. Maybe British people think it's funny. I don't know, but I laughed if they think it's funny, and I did not laugh if the British people are not laughing at that one. This performance was hot. Over on the runway, it was a perfect illusion. Wrong gay icon. I'm working 9 to 5 just to make an illusion. So when I saw this look, originally, girl, those runway lights, who was operating those? They kind of blew out her makeup, illusion, and hair, and I was like, what's going on? Later, though, when she was receiving her critiques, I was like, oh my god, the makeup's perfect, the hair is perfect, the dress is literally Dolly, and it wasn't an exact Dolly recreation from what I can tell, but Dolly was kind of known for wearing these heavily rhinestoned, gaudy, blue looks. One of her most famous ones was like that blue suit thing that she wore at the Steel Magnolias premiere. And I loved what Viv did here because blue has very much been her branded color this season so far. So she was like, I'm gonna give you an exact Dolly illusion in a unique look that is also giving the Vivienne. Iconic. This look is hot. Next up, the funny, the sexy, the hungry, and dirty Jaida Essence Hall. Please enjoy my 2022 Jaida Essence Hall mood board here. Can we please just take a second to like appreciate all of the ridiculous camera moments that Jaida has been giving? She is so effing funny. In the challenge, she rapped intentionally bad, which actually sounded good. I get this rumble in my tummy when you're holding my hand. So baby, let me clear the air. You're my #1 fan, but you're my #2. I'm so in love with you. Just like diarrhea, we've exploded in love. You've got me high, babe, like I'm gassy, and we're floating above. And this was maybe one of the most outrageous verses I think we've ever had in a challenge like this. She literally went on stage and yelled poo poo pee pee for like a solid 30 seconds, and I lived. Plus, she nailed the choreo with her group. Her group did so good. This performance was hot. And over on the runway, we've got Sweet Southern Belle in Canary Yellow, Dolly Parton. And this Dolly runway, I thought was solid. Was it the best tonight? No, but I think she achieved what she was going for. The outfit itself is a great recreation of Dolly's, and importantly, it is draggy. I think if I were looking for some improvements here, she could have gone a little bigger on the hair and a little bigger on the chest items. But what she's serving is clean, professional, and achieved the brief. This look is hot. Next up, it's mommy time. It's Jinkx Monsoon. So the egalitarian that Jinkx is decided at the beginning of this episode to consult with Raja, and they would decide who would be receiving their extra legendary legend stars together. And she decided to give hers to Jaida Essence Hall, making it her 2nd star of the competition thus far, officially making Jinkx and Jaida the queens with the most legendary legend stars of the entire cast. We also unlocked a bit of fun Jinkx Monsoon lore this episode when she told us that her tooth is chipped from a LARPing incident, which of course made perfect sense for the Jinkx Monsoon fantasy. In the challenge, she decided to play the motherly pop girly of the group, being kind of aged out as she's performing. Like my hip, our love is titanium, and we're aging at the same rate. And I've still got 2 years left to have your baby, because I've fallen for you and I can't get up. A great reference to those TV infomercials back in that that Y2K era where they would have an elderly person falling and hitting their life alert. Well, I'm about to need life alert for this COVID. I'm tired of it. And my thoughts here on Jinkx' performance in the challenge, she was very solid, like titanium. There's no critique to give her. She does everything that is in this realm of performance with such professionalism, perfection. I think the only thing she could have done to secure another win this episode would have been to have tried a different character, because she does often fall back into the mom or elderly roles. This performance was absolutely hot. Over on the runway though, y'all know I love me some Jinkx Monsoon. I'm sweating because I'm nervous. But this is not Dolly Parton. This is Renaissance Fair. Literally Renaissance Fair. She literally wore this dress while she was LARPing and chipped the tooth. That is what's happening here. And she found it in her closet and thought, oh, that's Dolly Parton. But it's not. And the funny thing is, she knew it too. She's coming down the runway giving us that campy, ridiculous caricature of a performance, knowing every cowboy boot tootin' step of the way. That outfit was not right. A 9 to 5 fantasy this was not. It's a rot. And finally, you've got mail. The trauma I can't even describe to y'all of like turning on your computer to find the speaker set at full volume, and you have to log in through AOL, of course, and every time you log in, it just screams at you in that bellowing voice.
You've got mail.
Still hear it in my nightmares. And her talking about dial-up noises and stuff actually got me really curious. Is there anybody watching this video that has never connected to the internet via a dial-up connection? Expose yourself in the comments below. I want to know. I'm curious. But concerning what Yvie did in the challenge, she's saying, baby, I'm your baby, you're my baby. I'll love you forever, never maybe. If you ever need me, you can page me, and I'll call you from this flip phone till I'm 80. Our connection is amazing. Dial up my modem, and I'll never keep you waiting. Baby, baby, baby. It was really, really good. Because her group was all about being on the nose, and too obvious. But the way her lyrics flowed and rhymed with those beautiful little triplets, I think she did an amazing job. This is exactly what, if this were a real pop group, you would be singing over and over. This is what gets stuck in your head. Yvie killed this challenge. This fembot gets a fem hot. Over on the runway, let's talk about it. It was almost too much for me. I didn't like what she was doing with those crazy manic caricature movements at first. I was like, girl, what is she doing? This is Dolly Parton going to her 9 to 5 after 10 cups of coffee, 3 Benadryls, and a bottle of cough syrup. Like, she was wilding out. But then it kind of grew on me and I was like, you know, she's really giving me drag here. I did like it at the end of the day. Because for as crazy as she was acting, she gave a great Dolly illusion. The makeup, the blown out highlights in the center of the face, the hair was right. It was Dolly, but dragged up, and the outfit itself, a beautiful recreation of an iconic Dolly look. The drag and drama of it all. This look was hot. And I'm gonna say, I really enjoyed this episode. I think I've already said that, but I'll say it again. I really enjoyed this episode. And again, part of that reason is because I'm so nostalgic for this era, but also because so many of the girls did so amazingly tonight. I think you could have justified a win for the 2 winners, Yvie and the Vivienne, and Monet, and Jaida, and maybe even Shea, and maybe even Jinkx. I think what ended up happening though was so many of the challenge performances were so good that they kind of had to rely on the Dolly Parton runways to make their decisions. Because of those queens I named that I think did stellar in the main challenge, only 2 who ended up receiving the win, Viv and Yvie, had really good Dolly illusions. So both facets of this episode considered, I absolutely agree with those 2 winners. And our 2 winners lip sync to Dolly Parton, and I did react to this lip sync and this challenge over on my Patreon at patreon.com/BussyQueen. That's my members only website where my Patreon family gets exclusive member benefits like early access to my YouTube videos, access to exclusive videos, and access to the Bussy Queen Discord server. And you can join by clicking the link in the description of this video. See you there. Concerning the outcome though, I was actually surprised to see them give the full win to Viv, just based on like the trajectory of the episode. It kind of seemed like they maybe wanted, from a producing perspective, to set Yvie up as like a late to the game, showing up as all of a sudden, oh, she could win type of character. But Viv got the win. I guess Rupaul preferred the more traditional Dolly lip sync that she gave as opposed to Yvie's manic Dolly that had a little too much coffee. And surprise, surprise, Viv blocks Jinkx. A little karmic retribution for your nerves. Okay. And concerning my hottest thoughts this week, in the challenge, I'm gonna give it to Yvie Oddly, and on the runway, Trinity the Tuck. I also asked my patrons to vote for their hottest hots, and this week they've chosen Yvie Oddly in the challenge and the Vivienne on the runway. And lastly, I wanna say thank you so much to today's video sponsor, Curology, for keeping my skin consistently clear. You can check them out by clicking the link in the description of this video and get a month of Curology for free. Just pay $5 shipping and handling. I also wanna say thanks to you for watching today's video and give an extra special shout out to PJ Barker Love It, Robert Adrian, and Sharon D. Love, who've all just joined my Patreon at the hot tier, and Adrian Burwinkle, Aiden the Individual, Alessandro 420, Alicia, Angel, Cyrus, Darksided Otter, David Webb, Dicky, Felicia, Frankie, Hector, JB, Jeffrey, Joseph, Josh Marchant, Kyle Hermes, Laura, Lisette, Louis Labrador, Mark James, Matthew Burns, Matthew Bauer, Maxie Wow, Michelle, Your Bell, Miss F, Neely, Sailor, Steven, Topher, Wheelie, and Will and Ton, who are all supporting me at my Bussy Queen Collector tier. See y'all later. Love ya. Bye. Every night, the night's terrors of AOL get me still. Life alert.